Vietnam National Assembly Chairman arrives in Bangkok, beginning official visit to Thailand.
Xi meets EU leaders in Beijing for first in-person summit in 4 years.
Students' mental health needs proper attention.
You're watching today's news on Nghệ An TV. My name is Ha Giang, your host. Let's come to some typical information. On the morning of December the 7th, Chairman of the Vietnamese National Assembly Vuong and his delegation arrived in Bangkok, beginning his official visit to Thailand.
During his trip to Thailand from December 7 to 10, the National Assembly chairman will hold meetings and talks with high-ranking leaders of the host country to compare notes on orientations and measures to strengthen the enhanced bilateral strategic partnership for 2022 to 2027, step up cooperation between their legislative bodies within bilateral and multilateral frameworks, and exchange views on international and regional issues of shared concern. The visit has important significance in the context that the two sides are actively implementing practical activities to mark the 10th anniversary of the bilateral strategic partnership, 2013 to 2023.
After 2.5 days of democratic and positive work with a high sense of responsibility, the 7th session of the 18th Provincial People's Council was concluded with many resolutions.
Based on the reports of the Standing Committee of the Provincial People's Council and the Provincial People's Committee, delegates discussed and unanimously approved 33 thematic resolutions related to the fields of socio-economic development, public investment, budget revenue and expenditure estimates in 2024, policy to invest in a number of projects in the province, changing the purpose of using rice cultivation land, protective forest land, and special use forest land, implementing the National Target Program for Socio-Economic Development in ethnic minority and mountainous areas in the province. The session also passed resolutions related to approving the total number of employees and payrolls of organizations and agencies in the province in 2024. The resolutions related to the province's People's Council's field of activities and many other important resolutions.
Chinese President Xi Jinping on December the 7th had a meeting with European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and European Council President Charles Michel in Beijing, discussing many important issues.
Welcome to China.
This is the first in-person summit in 4 years between the leaders of China and the European Union in the context of the two sides are making efforts to narrow remaining disagreements in many areas from trade to views surrounding the conflict in Ukraine. At the meeting, the Chinese president called on the EU to work together to ensure global stability, improve bilateral political trust and eliminate all forms of interference in bilateral relations. Top EU officials also meet Prime Minister Li Keqiang on December 7th to discuss bilateral economic relations issues, in addition to discussing regional and international situations of mutual concern.
Coming up next are some updated news.
Vietnam has repatriated over 1,000 citizens from Myanmar, as well as helping certain Egyptians, Malaysians and Singaporeans leave the country amid conflicts. So far, 1,020 Vietnamese citizens have been brought home on 9 flights from northern Shan state of Myanmar, with the entire cost of repatriation covered by the government. With the spirit of international solidarity, Vietnam has also supported Egypt, Malaysia, and Singapore to evacuate their citizens from Myanmar to safe places. The Vietnamese embassy in Myanmar said there are still a number of individuals believed to be Vietnamese citizens stranded in northern Myanmar due to the armed conflict there. The Foreign Ministry and Embassy will continue their coordination with competent agencies at home and other countries in the region to quickly verify and fly home Vietnamese citizens as soon as possible.
The U.S. government has announced a new military aid package for Ukraine, while President Joe Biden is urging the U.S. Congress to pass a supplementary budget proposal, including a plan to increase aid to Ukraine. The Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, said the new aid package is worth $175 million US dollars, providing weapons and equipment from the U.S. Department of Defense's arsenal. The new package includes air defense munitions, additional ammunition for high-mobility artillery rocket systems, artillery ammunition, high-speed anti-radiation missiles, anti-armor missiles, small arms ammunition, demolitions munitions for obstacle clearing, equipment to protect critical national infrastructure, and spare parts, ancillary equipment, services, training, and transportation.
From December 6 to 9, the Provincial Investment, Trade and Tourism Promotion Center has welcomed more than 40 agencies, units and business cooperatives from 15 provinces and cities nationwide. This is one of the important activities to promote Nagi and tourism in 2023, aiming to promote the introduction of destinations, potentials, products, tourism services and local specialties, strengthening Nghệ An's connection with provinces and cities across the country. Through the Tourism Survey Program, fam trips connecting localities on this occasion have created opportunities for Nghệ An to meet a large number of agencies, business units, cooperatives, and households to introduce the province's tourism and local specialties.
In recent years, problems related to student mental health have been increasing rapidly. According to statistics in the world, about 10 to 20% of children and adolescents experience mental health conditions. In Vietnam, the number of children with depression and negative thoughts is also increasing, especially after the COVID-19 epidemic. This is raising issues of concern for parents and schools. Statistics from UNICEF before COVID-19 pandemic, about 3% of children in Vietnam were depressed and had negative thoughts. But in recent times, this number had increased to nearly 24%. Many teachers and educational managers in schools in Nghệ An also admit that students showing signs of psychological and emotional disorders tend to increase.
The children's psychological development is not yet stable, so they have psychological symptoms but not serious diseases. In reality, the children with depression and negative thoughts have increased much more than the previous years.
According to a report from Nghệ An Mental Hospital, there are over 4,000 people coming for examination and treatment each year, of which 2% are students aged from 6 to 18. Since the beginning of the year, up to 10% of children have come to hospital for examination and treatment related to psychological disorders. There are many reasons, but according to doctors, the main one is still academic pressure, social relationships, and another reasons such as drug use, phone, internet.
To improve school health, there must be intervention from the whole society. As for families, early detection is needed for intervention. In addition to drug intervention, psychological intervention is sustainable and very effective.
Public opinion cannot help but worry about the incidents that students have caused and have negative thoughts recent time. Meanwhile, school is one of the most important psychosocial environments to improve and support children's mental health. Recently, the Ministry of Education and Training has approved communication materials on mental health of high school students. This is necessary and should be deployed early in schools. And now it's time to say goodbye. Thank you for watching and hope to see you next time.